WAEC 2024 question 50. It says, for what values of y is y plus 2 divided by 8y squared minus 10y plus 3 not defined? So let's quickly do that. So when you have, what do we understand when we say a function or an expression or an equation is not defined? What we mean by a function is not defined is when you divide any number by 0. So if you input in any calculator any number 1, 2, 3, 400 divided by 0, you usually have math error. So in math, we usually term it as what? Undefined. Undefined meaning that we don't have a solution to such a mathematical problem whereby you divide a number by 0. But if you say 0 divide by any number, it will give you 0. 0 divided by any kind of number will always give you what? 0. But any number divided by 0, there is no solution to that. So now they now ask in this, for what values of y is this expression not defined? That means what value of y will it be when you input it into this expression? The denominator will become 0, and then thereby making the whole thing undefined. You understand? So what value of y, and you look at the denominator of this expression, what kind of expression do you have there? You have a quadratic expression there. So that means y will have two values. So what value is it that when you put it there, this place will be 0? So indirectly, they are asking you to solve the quadratic equation on the denominator of this expression. So let me bring out that quadratic equation, which is 8y squared minus 10y plus 3 equals to 0. So what we want to solve it with respect to equals to 0. So we want to find the values of y that will give us 0. Because when it gives us 0, it will make this undefined. So let's proceed. According to how we solve quadratic equation, we multiply the coefficient of the y squared, the variable, the square of the variable. We multiply the coefficient of the y squared with the constant 10. So we have 8 times 3 to give us what? Plus 24. That's the first step to do. Then the next step to do is we find two factors, f1 and f2, and f2, such that if we do f1 times f2, it will give us what? 24. And if we do f1 plus f2, it will give us what? The coefficient of y, or which is always termed b in quadratic expression. So in this case, it will give us minus 10. So we are looking for two factors that when we multiply give us 24, we add, it gives us what? 10. Now 24, you have to start splitting that number into factors. So the first one I can recall is when you say 12 times 2 will give us what? 24. But when you do 12 plus 2, it will give you minus 10. Whether it's minus that or minus that. But to save our time, if you split this 12 further, that will be 6 times 2. Then you join, that will be 6 times 4. So 6 times 4 will still give us 24, but 6 plus 4 will give us plus 10. We are looking for minus 10. So however, if I put minus 6 here, make it minus 6 and minus 4. Minus 6 times minus 4 will still give us plus 24. But minus 6 plus minus 4 will give us what? Minus 10. So the factors we are looking for is minus 6 and minus 4. So we continue 8y squared. In the place of minus 10y squared, we'll put minus 6 and minus 4. So this will be what? Plus, you open minus 6 minus 4y plus 3 equals to 0. You continue. When you open this, it will become minus 6y, minus 6y minus 4y plus 3 equals to 0. Equals to 0. So we continue. So we can now factor out common factors. So between 8 and 6, the common factor there is 2. So you can factor out 2, and then between y squared and y, common factor is y. So you can factor out 2y from these two terms in the bracket. So when you factor out 2y, what will be left? 2 divide 8, what will be left will be 4y minus 2 divide 3, divide 6, 3. Y will cancel y. So between minus 4y and plus 3y, what can you factor out? Nothing except 1. So you can factor out minus 1 there. What will be left will be 4y, positive 4y, and negative 3. Because if you do minus 1 times that, it will give you that, and it will give you that, equals to 0. So since we have these two brackets here, they are the same, so you can factor them out to become what? 4y minus 3. You close, then you open. What will be left with what? 2y minus 1 here equals to 0. Equals to 0. So you equate each of these factors to 0. So we now have 4y minus 3 equals to 0, which means that 4y equals to what? Positive 3. Which means if you divide both sides by 4, you have that y equals to what? 3 over 4. Then for the second factor, we have 2y minus 1 equals to 0. So you take 1 to the other side, that will be 2y equals to positive 1. If we divide both sides by 2, that will be y equals to 1 over 2. So the values of y that will make this expression 0 will be y equals to what? 3 over 4, comma, y equals to what? 1 over 2. So which of our option collides or agrees with that? That's option D. So option D is the correct thing. So these are the values that will make our equation, our expression undefined. Thank you.